Did you know that nearly 443,000 Americans die a year from smoking? That's smoking cigarettes. That means that nearly 1 out of every 5 deaths in America is related to smoking, according to Center for Disease and Prevention Control. Hi, I'm Eric Rosenberger. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the negative effects of smoking. We're first going to talk about the financial effects that smoking has on you, the health effects it has on yourselves, as well as the health effects of secondhand smoke. Now that everyone knows what we're going to talk about, let's first talk about the financial effects of smoking. Smoking cigarettes are relatively expensive, and the prices are still climbing these days. A single pack of 24 cigarettes costs around $5.98 in the United States, and up to $11 on the East Coast, especially out in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and kind of areas. So now say if someone smoked a single pack of cigarettes a day for a whole year, they're likely to spend around $2,200 a year. That means if you smoke a pack of cigarette at the average cost of $5.98 every day for 10 years, you would spend around $22,000. And not everyone here's a math genius, but I can tell you that's enough to put down for either a car or maybe even down payment for a house. Now that we've talked about the financial effects of smoking on yourself, as even around people around you, let's talk about the health effects of first-hand smoke. Smoking cigarettes have many different negative health effects on the human body. According to the CDC, smoking can increase the risk of developing the following diseases: lung cancer, bladder cancer, pancreatic cancer, stomach cancer, and even cancer of the mouth, throat, and larynx. Smoking cigarettes can cause lung cancer, like I mentioned earlier. In the lung, it can restrict your airways and make it significantly more difficult to breathe, especially if you're doing more of a strenuous activity where you're putting your body as something harder to go through. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, smoking raises the risk of getting lung cancer nearly up to 23%, or up to that's for males, but for females it raises up to even 18%. Smoking can also increase the risk of heart diseases, and something more serious is to death. According to the CDC, smoking can cause coronary heart disease, which is the leading cause of death in the United States to this date. When you smoke too much, what happens is your blood thins out in your blood vessels, which narrows your blood vessels, and which in return increases more stoppages throughout your veins, which is more likely to have your heart stop, in other words. Knowing that smoking cigarettes can affect the user, now let's talk about how they can affect the people around them, which is secondhand smoke. Smoking cigarettes also affects the persons around you, which is called secondhand smoke, as I just mentioned. When someone smokes, they can intake up to 7,000 chemicals with just one single cigarette. The Centers for Disease Prevention and Control states that there are over 100 toxic chemicals just for one cigarette. They also state that within those 100 toxic chemicals, 70 of those can cause lung cancer just to secondhand smoke. So that means if you're smoking a cigarette, the people next to you have just as great a chance of getting lung cancer as you do, and they're not even the ones putting themselves at risk. Someone that suffers from secondhand smoke also suffers from the risk of heart disease, just like they do if you're smoking a cigarette. It is estimated by the American Cancer Society that an estimated 43,000 people die prematurely from different forms of heart disease from secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke also increases the risk of having a heart attack. This happens just like it does to first-hand smokers, as the previous things I've told you. The blood vessels also become smaller in size, thus not letting as much blood pass through, and increases heart attacks or strokes even. Children also suffer from secondhand smoke just as much as adults do, but they actually suffer even more. Children that are around people that smoke and inhale that from smoke from cigarettes are most likely to form bronchitis and even pneumonia above children their own peer age, just being around secondhand smoke, and that's according to the Institute of Medicine. People who smoke also put kids in danger by increasing ear infections, as well as letting more fluid build up in the ears that need to be drained. Now that you know the negative effects of smoking are, let's review what we went over today. Today we covered the high prices that are related to smoking. We also covered the effects that it has to deal with on the human body as a user, and the effects it has to deal with yourself, or excuse me, that it has to do with the secondhand smoker. Hope with all this information today, you guys will further on your knowledge about smoking, and even this could help people to quit smoking as well as the people around you. Thank you very much, and hopefully you guys have a great day.